You ever meet someone who seems ordinary, just another face in the crowd, but something about them makes you pause, like you're missing half the story? That's how it was when I first saw Ellie Carter, working her wrench in Hangar 9 at Nellis Air Force Base, out there in the Nevada desert where the sun fries you crisp by 8 a.m. She was just a mechanic, or so we thought, until General Howard Walsh strolled in and turned her world upside down in ours too. It was one of those scorching mornings, the kind where the heat shimmers off the tarmac, and you're already sweating through your coveralls before you clock in. I'm Jake, by the way, a junior lieutenant back then, stuck shadowing Walsh during his annual inspection. Ellie was at her station, elbow deep in an F-22's hydraulic system, her hands moving like they knew every bolt by heart. She wasn't loud or showy, just focused, like the plane was a puzzle only she could solve. The other mechanics called her the gear whisperer, said she could hear a bad valve before it even failed. But to Walsh, she was just a target. Walsh was old school, a bulldog in a starched uniform, the kind of guy who thought respect came from making people flinch. He strutted into Hangar 9 like he owned the place, his boots clicking like a countdown. At ease, he barked, but his eyes were already locked on Ellie, the only woman in the lineup. "You there, sweetheart," he said, voice dripping with condescension. "What's a gal like you doing playing with million-dollar jets? They hand you that wrench to meet a quota?" The hangar went dead quiet, wrenches frozen mid-turn, everyone waiting for her to crack. Ellie didn't even look up, just kept working, but I saw her hand tremble, just for a second, before she grabbed another tool. "Come on, Carter," Walsh pressed, stepping closer, his shadow swallowing her workspace. "Tell me you're serving your country by changing oil, huh? Real soldiers bleed for this nation, not brake fluid." The guys around me shifted, uncomfortable, but nobody said a word. He was a general, she was a civilian contractor. The math wasn't in her favor. Ellie finally met his gaze, and there was something in her eyes, not fear, not anger, but something heavy, like she was carrying a storm nobody else could see. "If your whole life got erased, General, and nobody remembered what you gave up, would you stay quiet?" she said, calm as a desert night. Walsh laughed, a sharp, ugly sound, but it didn't land right. Something about her tone made the air feel heavier. I noticed it then, as she leaned into the jet's maintenance bay, her shirt hitched up, revealing a scar on her lower back. Not some random mark, but numbers, carved deep, like someone meant them to last. 36.1 degrees north, 71.4 degrees east. Coordinates. I'd seen that format before, in briefings my dad used to give, classified stuff about covert ops in Pakistan. My gut twisted. This wasn't just a mechanic. Walsh didn't see it, too busy playing king, but I slipped out, made a call to my old man, Colonel Ryan, retired. "Dad, what's Shadow Protocol?" I whispered. The line went silent, so long I thought it dropped. "Where'd you hear that name, Jake?" he finally said, voice tight. "Don't say it again. Those people don't exist." But I'd already seen too much. Back in the hangar, Walsh was still at it, making Ellie explain hydraulics to the room like she was a rookie. "Louder, Carter, pilots' lives depend on this," he snapped, cutting her off with fake corrections meant to humiliate. She kept going, voice steady. Terminology, so precise half the mechanics looked lost. But those coordinates on her back, they were screaming louder than Walsh's voice. I searched them later. Chitral, Pakistan, 2013. A base that should have been wiped out, 40,000 lives, saved by a single operative. Shadow 3. A woman. My heart sank. Ellie Carter wasn't just fixing jets, she was a ghost. See, Ellie wasn't always Ellie. 13 years ago, she was Captain Lauren Hayes, Strategic Intelligence, volunteering for a mission nobody expected her to survive. 2 years undercover, living as someone else, feeding lies to a warlord who thought she was his golden ticket. She played the part so well they never suspected her every leak she gave them was a trap, every loss calculated to save more. But then there were kids, 3 of them, caught in a building marked for a drone strike. Her handlers said, acceptable losses. Ellie said no. She broke cover, carried those kids out herself, and paid for it in blood. They tortured her for weeks, carved those coordinates into her back, the target she'd saved as a sick trophy. She escaped, crawled 40 miles through the mountains, delivered intel that stopped an attack meant to start with Walsh's helicopters. That base survived because of her. Then they erased her. Captain Hayes died in a file, and Ellie Carter, mechanic, was born. Back in the present, Walsh was wrapping up his show, smug, thinking he'd put Ellie in her place. "This is what's wrong with our military," he boomed. "We've got people who think service is a 9 to 5 job, not sacrifice." He turned to leave, but I stopped him, whispered what I'd found. His face went from cocky to pale, like he'd seen a ghost because he had. He spun around, looked at Ellie, who was back at her jet, acting like nothing happened. "Carter," he started, voice shaky, "I need to." She cut him off, not even looking up. "Hydraulics are at optimal PSI, sir. Anything else?" Her tone was ice, professional, empty. "I know who you are." He tried again, softer. She smirked, sharp as a blade. "I'm nobody, General. My file says so." Walsh didn't know it, but Ellie was still in the game. Every temporary assignment Dubai, Manila put her near someone who needed watching. She wasn't just fixing jets. She was hunting, quietly neutralizing threats, making them look like accidents. The janitor who lingered too long by the trash bins, the gate guard who asked one too many questions, they were hers. A shadow network keeping the base safe. She taught us without teaching, showed us how to read people through how they treated their tools, their planes. "Check the pressure differential," she'd say, but she meant watch for the guy who's acting off. Base efficiency shot up 40%, and nobody knew why except us. Then came the sabotage. Hydraulic failures across 3 bases, subtle, designed to crash jets under combat stress. Ellie spotted it, recognized the signature from a cell she'd dismantled years ago. She fed the intel through back channels, made it look like routine maintenance caught it. A young airman, Ruiz, got the credit, pinned a medal on his chest while Ellie watched from Hangar 9, wrench in hand, a ghost proud of her shadow. Walsh tried to make it right, drafted a speech to blow her cover, give her the Medal of Honor she deserved. She showed up in his office like a specter, voice low, lethal. "Cancel it, General. I don't need a parade. I need to finish my war." He argued, said she deserved recognition. She laughed, bitter. "Glory's for people who come home whole, sir. Some of us are still out there, waking up in Pakistan every night, speaking Urdu in our sleep. Let me stay dead. The dead are useful." Walsh backed off, but the truth hit him hard. His career, built on ops like hers, was a lie. Weeks later, anonymous tips about his borrowed victories got him reassigned to a desk in D.C. Nobody mourned him. Now, Ellie's still out there, working on F-35s, her scars catching the morning light. A pilot, Captain Lee, young and sharp, caught a glimpse once. "You're the one they talk about, right? The ghost who saved my dad's squadron." Ellie didn't miss a beat. "Ghosts don't save people, Captain. Mechanics do. Fly safe." But Lee pressed, voice soft. "Thank you for whatever you did, whatever you're still doing." Ellie paused, just for a second, and nodded. "Just doing my job. Look closer next time you're on a base. The custodian, the cook, the guy checking IDs, they're more than they seem." Ellie's people, keeping watch, choosing shadows over spotlight. Her scars, those coordinates, they're not just a map of pain. They're a map of lives saved, disasters stopped. She taught me that heroes don't need headlines, they need purpose, a wrench, and the quiet knowledge that someone's coming home because they showed up. So what do you think? Is it fair that people like Ellie stay ghosts, their sacrifices buried to keep us safe? Or should we drag them into the light, even if it breaks them? Drop a comment. Tell me where you stand. I'm reading every one.